Gentlemen, the time has come once again to discuss things.
Wait, is it a review or I guess it's a discussion? Oh god, I gotta pick a one.
Well, while you're thinking, hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Geeky Gentlemen. I am Sid Partu. Joining me today is Rasco of Rasco's Mountain Life. Hello, Rasco.
Hi!
Well, damn. You sound violent.
I'm a smoker now, didn't you know I smoke?
Like, what, 17 packs a day for the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's really my new thing.
Okay. Well, before we get into the episode, I want you, the listeners, to know you can download episodes of Geeky Gentlemen listed on the code. There's a link in the description. Download this episode, and you can download older episodes by request. Just leave a comment on an old episode. Rasco, where can they find old episodes?
In the playlist.
In the Geeky Gentlemen playlist. You're very correct, sir. Okay, so Rasco, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about Moana.
Yes, we are talking about Moana. I realize that we are very late to the party on this, but I recently saw this movie a couple weeks ago, and I've been thinking about it a lot, and second favorite Disney film? I don't know, Rasco, what did you think of it?
I don't know, I have a hard time caring about this movie.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad, I just have, a real hard time giving a crap at all about it. I have that with most Pixar movies, though, to be honest.
Gotcha, okay. Well, I guess for me, why I enjoyed this so much is I've been, really down on all the Disney movies in recent years, Disney princess movies, let's call them. Because I saw Princess and the Frog, and that was just awkward, and I saw Tangled, and I hated the villain in that because, I don't know, it just wasn't done very complexly. And I think Frozen's kind of awful. It's just, you can just see the stitching where they put those scripts together. You know, it's a very poorly done movie, I feel. Whereas this just fucking works. It takes, everything that was good about Frozen and then makes it into a coherent movie. And so I enjoy this quite a bit. I've seen 2 animated movies this year that are within the last 12 months, let's say, as opposed to just 2016. But I've seen a couple animated movies this year that I really, really like. This and Kubo and the Two Strings. And honestly, I think they're some of the best animated movies, some of the best movies I've seen in a long time. And I have a real hard time deciding if this is better or worse than Kubo. And I fucking adored Kubo.
Interesting. But by the way, I just want to make a point. I said that I have a hard time caring about Pixar movies. I'm aware this isn't a Pixar movie. I know that you probably understood that. Because it's YouTube, people are going to be like, it's not a Pixar movie, idiot! I'm aware of people.
Yeah, idiot.
Shut up.
Just fucking kill yourself, you waste of space. You don't understand the difference between... You don't know the difference between Disney and Pixar. Just fucking end it now. No, so this movie really, really surprised the hell out of me. And we talk about that a lot with the idea of what you're expecting going into a movie to how you come out of it. And this is one where I was like, well, fuck it, I'll give it a shot. Even though I haven't liked the Disney movies recently. And since I had no expectations or even bad expectations going into this, to find this as impactful, as emotional, as just well done. I think everything about this movie is fantastic. I mean, the songs, the animation, the acting, the story, I think all of it just works so well. I don't know, but you're not necessarily the dissenting opinion, but you didn't really care for it, obviously. So what are your thoughts on it then?
I think this movie's pretty good. I think that what really helps me, like, because again, like, I'm not really going to sit here and say that anything about this movie is bad. This is just a hard movie for me to talk about. It's like talking about like vanilla pudding. It's like, I like it. I can't really talk about it that much, but I think that what gets me through this movie is how like
I'm sorry, you cut out for a sec.
this movie just looks so awesome.
I mean,
the water.
Yeah.
When did I commit? What was the last thing you heard me say?
No, I got you. I got the point. Yeah, it's fucking gorgeous. Everything is beautiful. Like, they go to hell, and it's fucking beautiful. I love, like, the fucking lizard thing that tries to eat her, and it's just, like, the detail on its tongue, the bioluminescent look of everything. Yeah, I agree. I think the animation and the character designs, environment designs are fantastic. Cool.
Yeah, the water is like the most impressive thing, I think.
Hmm.
And it's kind of a weird thing because we kind of have had good looking water in animation, so that's not really a new thing. But the water and like the hair and the grains of sand, that's all like really impressive stuff.
Yeah, I looked into some of the background on this, and they designed the hair from like the coding for software up. They invented software specifically for the hair. And
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, they like got one of the consultants on the movie, cultural consultants or whatever, for Pacific Islanders. They had her do a bunch of like footage of just her hair, doing stuff with her hair, like letting it blow in the wind, you know, shaking her head around, stuff like that. And they based it a lot off of that, but they designed software from the ground up to get it right. And yeah, fuck hair. Just from a CG animation perspective, fuck hair. It never does what you want it to. It constantly penetrates your mesh, which is bullshit. It's a pain in the ass. So to have it look this fucking good is really impressive. The point about the water, yeah, like I love that scene really early on where she walks into the ocean, and it like forms the wall around her, and you see the fucking turtle. That's so cool. So yeah, I agree. I think the animation.
I agree.
You're leaving me out here stranded in the ocean, Rasco. I need some back and forth, man.
I'll bring up something that Connor said one time about this movie.
Of course.
Connor thinks that the action scene where the little like creepy like tiki people things are attacking is like one of the best action scenes of the year.
Really?
That this movie came out.
Interesting.
Yep.
I don't know. It's cool. It's dynamic as hell. Moana is Spider-Man, but I mean, she kind of is, but it's neat. She's Spider Moana. See what I did there? Because no, nothing. Okay, fine. Just talking to a wall tonight, folks. Hope you're enjoying.
How many? I'm sorry. I think it's like I don't know. I'm having like weird connection issues, but I can hear you for the most part.
Okay, sorry.
But I don't know. Did you ask me a question or something?
No, I'm just like making jokes and you're
Okay.
just like dead air. I'm like, fuck.
Did I haven't really seen a lot of the more recent. Like I haven't seen Frozen. I haven't seen like Brave.
Hmm.
Are there like romantic interests in those movies? I'm sure Tangled.
In Frozen, there's a romantic interest for Anna. I haven't seen Brave, so I couldn't tell you, but I'm pretty sure there's not. Tangled, there is one. Princess and the Frog, there is one. What I like about this so much is it breaks two formulas. One, there's no romantic interest. Like, as far as I'm concerned, there is absolutely no romantic subtext between Maui and Moana. And two, and this is very important because this is like everything that's wrong with Frozen, there's no real villain. There's an action scene with some weird coconut monsters, and there's an action scene with a song with the crab, but he's definitely not a villain. So you get like a fake out of a villain, but there's no real villain of the piece, and that's okay. I guess, I don't know, maybe it's not that this movie is great in and of itself, so maybe it isn't as good as Kubo, but this is great by current Disney standards for me, because I watched Frozen, and spoilers for Frozen, Rasco. In that, you get this guy, I think his name is Hans, introduced in the first act, and he and Anna fall in love overnight and decide that they're going to get married. And that makes Elsa freak out, and she does her whole let it go thing and builds an ice castle. And then Anna has to go out and save her. And when she comes back, she's been injured, and only true love's kiss will save her. So she comes back to Hans to get true love's kiss, and he reveals himself to be a villain conniving for his own throne, which he planned to get through, murdering Anna and Elsa after marriage. And then he just fucking dies like 10 minutes later. Like, he doesn't get introduced as a villain until the last 20 minutes of the film, and he dies within 10 minutes. He is completely useless and a very pointless villain. He is introduced for absolutely no reason whatsoever. It's really annoying because the fact there is a villain undermines one of the more interesting themes about Frozen, but I don't want to get into all that. Whereas this, like I said, we get, some action scenes with antagonistic characters, but they are not villains. Like, I would not call Tamatoa a villain in the same way I would Jafar. And so I think that works. If your story does not need a villain, it is okay not to have one. And so I really appreciated that about this.
Yeah. I also think this movie's kind of weird because there's always like sidekick animals in in Disney princess movies, and this one is kind of weird where it doesn't. That's like a chicken that's like not really like a character; it's just like a gag. But like the ocean is kind of a sidekick.
Yeah, you got the ocean, you got the chicken, and then you got the pig, who I thought was going to
Oh, yeah, you're right. I totally forgot about the pig.
Yeah, he was, like, he's set up to be the animal sidekick there the whole time, but he just isn't.
Yeah.
That was
Strange.
a little weird.
Yeah, that's weird, actually.
Whatevs.
This movie could have used a shark sidekick as well. I like sharks in movies.
Well, you got Shark Head. Isn't that good enough?
Yeah, you do have Shark Head. That's true. I just really like sharks in general. Anything with the ocean.
Is your favorite animated series Street Sharks?
No. But I used to really like that when I was younger.
Me too. Does not hold up in the slightest. It's everything that's bad about Ninja Turtles. No, but like I agree. There's a lot of Disney tropes here. There's the animal sidekicks, but they kind of acknowledge them, which I don't know. You could say it's just acknowledging that you're using them, but still using them. But I don't know. It worked for me. They have that line: "You got an animal sidekick. You're wearing a dress. You're a princess." I like that. That's the standard for Disney princess now. I don't know. I thought that like was fine. The chicken doesn't become distracting. There is one moment where, like, if I were to make a fan edit of Moana, all I would take out is one scene with the chicken, because I feel it's like tonally opposed.
What scene is that?
It's like after they get blown away by the, oh fuck, what's her name? The god. No, shit. I can't fucking remember the names right now. After they get blown away by the lava monster, and they're like, stranded in the middle of the ocean, and the ship's all broken and shit. She like opens the bin, and you see the chicken, and it's all like like dazed and confused, and then she immediately closes the bin and looks up, and then it gets all serious again. So it's like really serious danger, followed shortly by really serious drama and character questioning, and then there's just like this one little blip of comic relief, and like you don't need that there at all. So I don't think that fits.
I guess one thing that I do like about this as well is just because it's something we haven't really done yet. Actually, I guess we've done Lilo and Stitch, but this is very different from that. Like, just going with this like Pacific Islander culture theme is really cool, I think.
I don't know what it is, but Disney makes really, really good movies about Pacific Islanders. I don't know why, but apparently that's their strong suit. They're not the most popular movies, but they're really, really good movies.
Yeah, and I'll say this. I really like the songs in this movie. My least favorite, though, is the one that everybody loves, which pisses me off so much.
Which is?
How Far I'll Go, or what? I think that's what it's called.
Really? Why didn't you like that one?
I don't know. My least favorite scene in any movie that has songs and like a person that wants to like go out and explore is the song about how much they want to go out and explore.
I don't know. I think that one really, really worked. It's very, very well written. Aside, there's one little bit where I think island is used too much, just the word island. But
I know exactly what you're talking about, and I agree.
Yeah, but man, I think that is a great song. Just everything about that, like, what? See, the line where the sky meets the sea, it calls me, and no one knows how far it goes. I really like that. That is, part of it is I'm watching fucking Star Trek again right now, so the whole idea of voyaging is really just the best thing about any Star Trek series, except Deep Space Nine, but even still. The idea of the human desire to explore, to go on, and I don't know, it's this it's very basic, but still very well done metaphor for her character, for just wanting to find out more in life. Everything about life on the island is, everything's provided for you here. Everything's perfect. There's no reason whatsoever to leave. That's like verbatim what her father tells her. And she still wants to fucking go. She just has it in her blood. And to have that be that big shining moment where she just can't take it anymore, everything about that, about the unknown, is inherently more interesting to her than the responsibility, the safety of home. That's a good fucking message. It's a well done song, I think. I think it's handled really, really well. It is.
I agree. Nothing's wrong with that. It's like this weird thing I have in my head when I don't know. This is a big reason why I just have a hard time caring about like Disney movies, is because like that scene is in so many. It's one of my favorite like scenes in Star Wars. Is just Luke looking at the dual sunsets is really awesome. I love that moment. But for some reason, if there's ever a musical number revolving around that moment, I just, for some reason, get irritated. I don't know why. It's just like a thing in my head.
Fair enough. I mean, it's certainly a cliche, but I don't know, it's this interesting line of, like, where does cliche and natural theme that's in a lot of things begin? Because we hear this idea of there are only so many stories, but like there's only a certain number of stories that you can tell. It's the way you tell them, and then there's also cliches, and those things aren't completely different. They're certainly not exactly the same, but there is, you know, if you imagine, what do you call that, with the two circles and the Venn diagram. There is some overlap between cliche and stories and only having so many stories.
Yeah.
So, I agree. It's a cliche thing. I don't care. I think it is done well. Except for the use of the word island one too many times.
Fair. And again, it's not like a real problem. It's just like a weird thing that bothers me in a lot of stuff. I will say that
much easier if you hated this movie.
it would be. Something we could do that with, maybe we could do that with Kubo, because you really like Kubo. I really don't like Kubo that much.
The fuck is wrong with you?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you and your family. Oh, man. Goddamn. Maybe at some point, yeah. Anyway, go on. What were you going to say?
I think that this is a weird thing. This movie is like one of those things that's helped me like The Rock more. I used to have this weird thing where, like, anytime The Rock was brought up, I was just like, oh, I fucking hate The Rock. And I don't know why I was like that. For some reason, I really didn't like him in anything. Like, he just bothered me in any movie that he was put in. And now I'm kind of, like, having this weird, like, change of heart where, like, I actually like him in a lot of things now. And I would like to see him do some more, like, action movie stuff. Like, I'd like him to just kind of be more like an Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, I would like that. Not that he can't do these kind of things in, like, comedies like the upcoming Baywatch, but, like, I would like him to be more of, like, an action movie star in some, like, serious action movies.
That's fair. I think he's an okay actor when he, like, really... He's a good actor when he has a good script, is what I think it comes down to. He's also in a lot of just kind of silly stuff.
Yeah.
Is I think a fair way to put it. What did someone post the other day that made me laugh? The first Fast and the Furious movie ended with a street race. The most recent Fast and the Furious movie ended by getting ended by blowing up a submarine. What happened along the way?
Yeah, you're right.
It's just like it gets really ridiculous. He's in a lot of, like, what was it, Journey to the Center of the Earth 2 or whatever, and Journey to Witch Mountain or what the fuck ever that was. He's in a lot of, like, really strange films that I think he just takes for the money. It was interesting because I listened to Will-Manuel Miranda, who did the songs for this, or some of the songs for this, rather. Some work on the songs for this. There's the phrase I want. And he talked about how he was really excited to write for The Rock, and I think he made an interesting point about him that kind of goes to this. The Rock can pretty much say anything, and he's just such a likable guy that you'll totally go with it. And that's why he wrote the song You're Welcome, because you can just have this guy who has such powerful charisma take credit for literally everything and just brush it off like it's no big deal. And, like, no one else would be able to do that.
Yeah, I really like that song. That might be my favorite song in the movie.
I mean, I didn't expect The Rock to be able to sing at all, and he's better than I expected.
But yeah, I think it's because he's got, like, such a rich voice naturally.
Yeah. I'll give you that. I watched the Honest trailer for this, and, you know, when they go through, like, making fun of the characters, they go, starring Troy Polamalu really let himself go. And that was funny. That was a sports joke I understood. I was proud of myself. But yeah, I agree. The Rock is good in this. At first, I didn't even realize it was him. I didn't know much about this going into it.
I didn't either. I don't even know. Actually, I remember why. Yeah, never mind. I was seeing, like, every single movie that came out when this movie came out, so that was why I've seen this movie. I wouldn't have seen this movie otherwise.
And I almost didn't. I only decided to because we got that Fire Stick, and I was like, oh, hey, there it is, right there. Might as well give it a shot since I don't have to pay anything for it. And that was a very good decision, because this is a very good movie. Again, the thing with the villains, just, it's a well-written film. It's done by the same guys who did a lot of the, you know, Disney Renaissance films. I'm like pretty sure Aladdin is in their roster as well as Beauty and the Beast. So, yeah. And I mean, I liked the hell out of Aladdin too. Hint for future fan film review, by the way.
Oh, God.
Oh no. Rasco doesn't.
Another movie I just can't care about.
Fucking Aladdin? Did you even have a childhood?
I've seen all these movies. I just can't care.
The shit is wrong with your life.
I don't know. I like way too, like, I don't know.
What's your favorite Disney film?
Can we lump Pixar in?
No.
Oh, fuck my ass. Lilo and Stitch?
Okay, that's a good one. That's my favorite too.
I like that.
This is up there with that now. So, I don't know, man. I thought it was a damn good movie. You know, Steve made a joke when I announced that we were going to be doing this last week. He's like, it's going to be a short review because it's fucking amazing. I'm like, shit, this is a really short review because this movie is fucking amazing. I'm trying to think of other stuff to say about it, and I'm just like, yeah, this part was really good. So was this part.
Well, Connor messaged me saying that this was like 10 minutes ago, saying that he could make it. So if we continue this long enough, Connor will be able to join us.
Oh, okay. All right, let's manage this.
Okay.
I believe in us. All right, so did you stay after the credits?
No, I didn't. Is there a post-credit scene?
Yes, there is.
What is it?
It's Tamatoa on the ground, still on his back.
Yeah.
And he's like, let's be honest, if I were a red crab with a cool Jamaican accent, you'd totally help me. He breaks the fourth wall twice. Oh, okay, here's something we could talk about. Fucking decapods, dude. Holy shit. So, like, he breaks the fourth wall during a song, and he's like, look it up. And so if you look up decapods, I don't think you'd ever want to live in this region.
I'm gonna look up decapods.
Okay. They're more commonly known as coconut crabs, and they're so damn big they can crush a coconut with their claws. Do you ever think about spiders at all?
I don't like spiders, but like... I mean, yeah, I have like a pretty normal human reaction to spiders.
Which is to, like, burn your house down if you ever find one?
Well, they do bug me. I get pretty scared of spiders. I don't know.
Well, like, okay, so these fucking things mainly just live on land. They can live in the ocean, but they just fucking chill on land. So that's
Holy
one thing.
Fuck!
Right?
Dude, it's scary.
Yeah! People, like, go out and see him trying to get inside their garbage cans. It's interesting that he's got, like, all the gold shit on his back, because they're notorious thieves. They just, like, steal shiny objects. They are the devil.
Dude, I'm seeing one next to, like, a dog.
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude? These are some scary fucking things.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here's one on a garbage can, dude.
Yep. So yeah, he's only slightly exaggerated. So I thought that was like really cool, is that he's, you know, he is the, again, I say there's no real villain. He is more a brief antagonist on the way to the end of the story, but I thought he was a really neat idea for a, like, character. They put a lot of thought into it. Like, his whole fish are attracted to shiny things, so I use this as bait. I really thought that was cool. I don't know, man. I thought it was a neat idea for a character based on something that is legitimately terrifying.
I agree, dude. Like, that gives him points. Because, like, I just found this picture. It's not like a real picture. It's like an illustration of a man with no shirt on fighting a swarm of these crabs. And they're, like, pinching him, and he's bleeding, and he's got, like a bat, and he's, like, swinging at him. This is crazy.
Yeah, I would not want to fuck with these things. They are just huge. I watched videos of people, like, catching them and cooking them. Which, I don't know. This like, not related to literally anything, but I'm going to ask you anyway. So would you eat crab?
Just crab, period, or these kind of crabs?
I mean, yeah, just crab, period. Would you eat crab?
I've had crab. I don't love crab, but I really like lobster.
Okay, so, like, this leads me to another question then. Would you eat a spider?
No.
Not like whole. Just imagine a spider the size of one of these crabs. And I apologize. But imagine a spider the size of one of these crabs. Would you eat that if it was served to you in the same way that crab is?
Maybe.
Okay. Like, would you eat it pleasantly, or would I really have to, like, make you do it?
This is one of those things where I want to say that I would, like, we just have, like, a ridiculous reaction to certain things in a way that we don't with others, and there's really not that much of, like, a grossness level that's that different when it comes to what you're eating. It's just, like, we think of spiders as creepy. We are normalized when it comes to eating chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Birds are really fucking nasty if you think about it. I don't know. So I want to say that I would, but I would not go out of my way. And it's very likely I would just be like, no, I'm not going to eat that.
And see, I don't know, I find that to be just an interesting thought experiment, because spiders are just evolved from animals like this.
Yeah.
They're the land-based version of crabs and shit. Crustaceans. So I find it amusing that people do that. Like XKDC, the comic strip, forever ago had a strip where it was like, imagine a parallel world where anytime someone saw a tarantula, they went, "Oh, that looks delicious." This is how I feel about seafood.
Yeah. I'm sure there are places in the world where that's the case.
I'm sure, but I don't know. I just find it hilarious. It's interesting because lobster has become a delicacy, but early America, they'd serve lobsters to prisoners, and it was considered so inhumane because it'd be like serving rats. I'm just like, wow, how times and perceptions have changed.
Yeah, it's weird. I like lobster. I would have been a content prisoner.
They didn't serve it the same way.
I'm joking. I'm sure they did.
It didn't come with the cheddar biscuits. Okay, but back to Moana. That's like the worst joke I've made all night. It's the one you laugh at the most. I feel really shitty now. So back to Moana, though. Seafood tangent aside. I don't know, I thought there was a lot of thought put into this movie. Like, there's so much great work in the detail. Like, I love her clothing. It's actually made from the, I forgot the name of it. Fucking foreign language that hardly anyone speaks because of imperialism. That's really hard to remember pronunciation. The fucking shit they make out of the coconuts for clothing and tapestry and shit. Like, you look at the texturing work on her clothing, and it's consistent with the tapestries we see earlier in the film and, like, the sail.
Oh, yeah.
It's all made from the same material, it looks like, which is just, I don't know, that's really good detail work. It's also really cool to see her at the end when she's got, like, the head dressing and all that shit on the boat, and she's just, like, hanging from the ropes like a proper sailor. That was just cool.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. What's up?
I think this movie... I think that it's weird because, like, this is probably, of, like, the Disney princess movies, this one has, like, the most things going for it to get me interested.
And it just doesn't.
Yeah. Like, I will admit, like, I really do like a lot of the action scenes. Like, I think the ending is really cool, just visually. But it's weird. Like, again, I don't even know what it is. It's just, like, a thing I have where... And it's not even that I don't like animation. Like, literally, like, I was immensely more interested in Kubo because it was stop motion.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I am just, like, inherently intrigued when something's stop motion, as opposed to just, like, more digital animation that we do. And it's not, like, a reason. I can't really give you a reason.
You know less about how to do stop motion, maybe? Or not
no, actually,
not really
I very well. I used to make stop motion videos when I was younger.
Okay.
So
I phrased that wrong. You know less about how to make stop motion look good than you understand about how we make CG look good.
I guess, but I don't know. I'm pretty ignorant to CG. Like,
I don't know. I think it's apples and oranges to try to compare the animation because so much of Kubo is stop motion. It is mixed with CG, by the way. But this is obviously 100% CG, and I don't know, man. I think that the lush landscapes, the way the ocean water is simulated, like, it's not just that you see the waves. It's when she paddles, you see the splashes. When she's thrown onto the boat by the ocean, you see all the fluid, like, collapse and fall back into the water.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everything about that is really, really dynamic, and fluids are a bitch to work with. Because you don't animate water. You have to simulate it And so you have to just sit there and fucking look at the computer do work and decide whether or not that's good enough. Or if it's doing what you want it to be doing. And so that's just inherently difficult. Because it's like you have less control over it. So it is, in a way, it's more like live action at that point than it is like animation, right? Because when you have an effect that depends on some kind of natural element in live action, you just have to shoot it a bunch of times and then cut it together until it works. Whereas with animation simulations like this, with water simulations, you have to animate it a bunch of times, simulate it a bunch of times, and see if the simulation is doing what you want it to be doing.
Yeah.
And that's just a bitch.
You know, it's kind of weird, like, because we've only had like 5 of these like 3D animated Disney movies.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's like? Because I'm of the mind that like I kind of resist this idea that like this is the new version of this, and then you get rid of it. Like I don't think that that movies are like obviously the way that we create these new mediums. It is an evolution, but I don't think that movies are meant to replace stage plays. The same way I don't think that like 3D animation is meant to replace 2D animation.
No, it is a different art form in a lot of ways. Just things about 3D can be done that you can't really do well in 2D. I like this, and it uses the water, and it uses the software to do the hair really well. I will say, though, there's nothing in this that has to be CGI.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the water would look as good if you did it in 2D, but you could still do it in 2D and be fine.
Yeah, we would be sitting here talking about how good the water and sand looks if this was 2D.
Yeah. But generally speaking, what 3D animation exceeds that is very difficult in 2D animation is volumetric shapes. So, cylinders, cubes, rectangles, pyramids. And maintaining those shapes while moving them. So the go-to example I always use is a train. How many trains can you think of that you've seen beauty passes of, like far distant shots where you see it moving, in 2D animation?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like just any coming to mind? I'm sure there are some, but...
Yeah, I don't really know.
Yeah, because it's really fucking hard to do that and have it look consistent. Like, if you watch Batman the Animated Series, that fucking Batmobile is so goddamn long that it actually curves as it goes over hills in the road when they animate it, because they just can't fucking keep it straight. They didn't realize what they were doing. So it's just like 2D animation. It's hard to keep that kind of thing consistent and looking good. Whereas 3D animation, you make the shape. It's the shape. That's it. It only changes if you want it to.
Yeah.
So I keep saying that the best way, that a good way to do a 3D animated movie that needs to be in 3D would be to do a movie that revolves around like a train heist.
Yeah.
And constantly going in and out of the train and shit, because then you would not be able to do a film like that in 2D animation, at least not as well. So like it's a different part of the art form that utilizes different techniques. I don't want to see 2D animation die out, but if a studio like Disney has decided they're not doing it anymore, I don't know who's gonna.
Yeah, that was my thing, because like we have Disney Pixar, And for a while, it was kind of like that seemed to be the distinction.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not anymore. And I don't really, I'm not saying like I need to have these movies still be 2D, because like this movie, I think I would care about even less if it was 2D. But it's one of those things where it's like I don't really want that to just stop being made, because I feel like we are so we do this all the time, where like the general public is like, oh yeah, this is the new this. Just that's the old thing. We don't do that anymore. And I feel like people kind of in general have like that perception of like stage plays, even though there are people that still really like plays. It's just nowhere near the amount of people that go and see movies. And we think of something as like outdated when it's really not. It's about like working within a framework, and that's how you make like when a stage play is able to work within the framework of having to take place on a stage. Like that's like kind of the beauty of that art form. And like 2D animation, it's like working within the two dimensions. That's like the point of it. And so it's not that there's anything wrong with this. It's just like I wonder about like people just moving and thinking that something is like the evolution in the sense that it needs to now replace the thing that came prior. That always kind of bugs me about things.
Well, I don't think that we'll stop seeing 2D animation, but I don't think we'll see many more 2D animated movies.
I feel that's probably true.
Because the thing about 3D animation is it allows you to, how to put this? It allows you to do more in the end, but there's a lot more work on the front half than there is on the back half. Like, as you get more of it done, it gets easier and easier. Let me put it that way. Whereas 2D animation is pretty much the same work ethic all the way through. You're doing about the same amount of work at the beginning as you are at the end, in, like, assuming consistent quality. So, like, 3D animated television shows would make more sense, but no studio wants to put up that much money in the front half to have it look cinematic in 3D animation for a television budget. So you get 3D animated television shows, but they don't look great. I like Clone Wars quite a bit. They have blocky beards, and I'll never understand it.
Yeah, that's the big thing that bugs me about that.
Yeah, it's really fucking distracting, believe me. And there's just like the clothing, a lot of that stuff looks pretty blocky. Rebels is better, but not by much, just because technology has evolved. Whereas, 2D animation, it could have looked more dynamic because you'd be doing the same amount of work no matter what. So I don't think we'll see 2D animation die out completely. I think it'll just move mainly to television. But at the same time, that's a problem because television does not have the budget to do absolutely fantastic 2D animation like cinema does. And that's not okay. I don't feel comfortable with people just abandoning an entire branch of an art form. I don't know. It's not my wheelhouse though. So
yeah, because we get this like I hear this all the time with video games, and I lose my fucking mind when people say that like video games are the evolution of movies.
No, it's a completely different medium.
I know, because one, you're sliding video games, and you're saying like they have to perform this function now, like they must be the new way in which we tell stories, and it's like you're sliding what video games are, and you're sliding movies. Because I'm like sitting there, and I'm like, okay, there's a big difference between a movie where it's kind of like the point is that your balls are in the hand of the storyteller. Like, they have you by the balls, and you have no say. And that's, like, the point. It's like when a movie, like, suckers you in, and then it punches you, and you're not expecting it. You're like, fuck, the fact that I'm so helpless is what makes this so entertaining. I'm just letting this thing take over. When you throw in interaction into that, it's not worse. It's just completely different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I want to try to relate that more to Moana itself. Because you're led a certain way in this movie. To jump off your point and go back to the movie, you're led to believe a certain thing, which is that the volcano lava monster is the bad guy and it wants the heart for nefarious purposes. When really, it is a reaction that the goddess had to having her heart taken away.
Yeah.
And so that's a great subversion. And you could probably pull that off in a video game, but I don't know if it would work as well. You could probably pull that off in other art forms, but I don't know. I just don't imagine that kind of twist ending would work.
Mm-hmm.
What do I want to say? I don't know. Were you surprised by the way that ended, or did you see it coming?
Oh, I don't know. It's one of those things where when you think about, I honestly can't put myself back in the shoes before I hadn't seen the movie. It's one of those things where you think about like what the object is. It's like, how did I not think of that? If you didn't see it coming in again, it's one of the things where I can't really remember what I thought prior to that reveal.
And I saw it more recently, so I can tell you now. I thought that was the bad guy, and then when she gets to the ridge and fucking island is gone, I was like, oh shit. I didn't even realize that it was the monster until we get the shot to reveal it. So, like, I did not know until the exact moment the storyteller wanted me to know.
Mm-hmm.
And that just worked, because I'm trying to remember, I'm pretty sure she doesn't even say anything. She just looks. It's all done visually. And that's just, yeah, because she just looks and sees the spiral on the lava chest and then the spiral on the stone. That's good. That's just good filmmaking.
Yeah.
You know, you could probably do that in a video game cinematic, but we talk a lot about how video game cinematics shouldn't be the only way the story is told, so.
Yeah. Yep, you're right. Also, this is a weird thing, and I don't even know if I doubt there are people that I bet if I brought this up to would not even notice what I'm talking about. But I'm trying to think, how many have Disney animated movies always used like a 35 millimeter aspect ratio?
Fuck if I know.
See, yeah, there's one of those things where, like, me and Connor, we talk about aspect ratios all the fucking time, and I notice it. It's the first thing I notice about a movie is, like, the aspect ratio. And, like, whether or not it's, like, Letterboxd or if it's, like, a YouTube video aspect ratio. Like, these things just, like, occur to me. And this movie, it is, like, a more, like, cinematic aspect ratio, even though not all movies are. Like, Stanley Kubrick movies are not Letterboxd like these are. In the same way. They're not square, but they're very limited, but they're very expansive in the image. But like, I don't know, it's one of those things where like I go back and I think of like animated movies, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like those have a more square aspect ratio than this does. But there's not much to really talk about here. It's just a thing I'm wondering.
I know the really, really old ones, like Snow White is 4:3. Like, because you can see clips from it, and it's you know, more television skewed kind of thing.
Yeah.
Old television, because now we got our widescreens.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's just what it is. But this is more cinematic, though. I don't know. I feel like aspect ratios are getting longer. And that bothers me because we just got widescreen TVs. Why can't we just shoot everything in 16:9 now?
Well,
Why?
the reason we don't is because it comes back to TV. So Hollywood thought that television would completely destroy film, which this is a whole nother topic we can get into. But like I avidly disagree with that. I think movies and TV are different things. and it's a very important thing that we acknowledge the differences and the strengths and weaknesses of both and how they're both valid, and one doesn't need to replace the other. But more importantly, they thought, so what happens when you make a wider aspect ratio is that you can make it a bigger image in a theater. So, like when you go into a movie theater, it's a really wide wall, and the image can be displayed really wide, whereas you don't need that with a square image, and that was like the draw to theater. They thought that would be the draw to theaters. It's like, oh, look how wide the image is. Even though you're not really making the image wider, you're just cutting off the top and bottom, but that allows you to make it wider in a theater. Mm-hmm. And so since then, we've kind of gone down this path of thinking that makes something look cinematic, which I don't resist that. I like a bunch of different aspect ratios for different reasons. Like I think if you're making a low-budget movie, digital, you should probably use a 16:9 aspect ratio, or the one that's slightly shorter than that. There's like one that's like barely different from 16:9. I don't know what it is, but like I've always kind of felt like low-budget stuff should be shot like that because it's going to be seen on computer screens rather than theaters, most likely, by the most people.
Hi, Connor.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Pretty good. I don't know, like, how much more we're going to have to say, but... Connor, did you have any thoughts about Moana's aspect ratio?
No.
Did you have any thoughts about Moana that you don't think we've mentioned?
Ooh, man. I found it thrillingly entertaining.
Yeah?
I thought the animation was gorgeous, and I watched this movie on a discolored screen, and it still had popping colors and looked beautiful.
Cool. Now, Connor said you had some kind of point about the coconut monster scene.
Oh, yeah, no, I love that scene. I think that is actually, maybe it's because it's reminiscent of, like, Mad Max Fury Road or something, but I found that to be, like, when I saw that, amongst the most kinetic and exciting and thrilling action scenes I've seen in a movie since Mad Max Fury Road. Because 2016 was not a very good year for movies at all, least of all action movies, and it was really cool, and it was really something that I'd kind of forgotten what it was like to be thrilled by an action scene, and I really loved that scene. It was euphoric. It was so much fun. I loved the animation. I loved the way the camera kind of swung around with the character. Yeah, loved that scene.
Cool. We're like, Rasco's like doesn't care about this movie very much at all. I think it's really, really good. So we're really struggling to find stuff to talk about. And of course, you come in right as Rasco's call finally fails. So good timing, Connor.
Yeah, I found the movie to be a blast. I really liked it.
I mean, I talked about this earlier, but I like it more in spite of the recent really awful Disney movies I feel we've had, like Frozen, Entangled, and Princess and the Frog. What about it like really attracts you besides just the general animation and stuff?
I'm not sure what it is. I think maybe a lot of it was the time at which I watched it. I think that Moana is not like a unique character, but she has spunk and she has personality. And her relationship with Maui, I think, is a lot of fun. I really like their dynamic. It's not nothing we haven't seen before, but it's doing it in a way that is entertaining, and it's thoughtful, and it's a lot of fun. I do think that the relationship kind of is missing a piece. That's when Maui just leaves and then just comes back. I think we need to have a scene with Maui that kind of explains why he came back and what that relationship meant to him.
Yeah, I'd agree. That did feel like a dropped scene.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what it is. I'm not very, when it comes to animation, I'm pretty behind on that might have cost a lot more money to put in. It might have put the runtime a little long. Because how long is this movie? It's like an hour 45, I want to say.
Yeah, that's almost dead on.
Like, that's stretching it, I know, for animated movies that they're trying to market towards kids. They try to keep it at 90 minutes. So I think hour 45 is really pushing it for them. So maybe I really also like the world that it had established. I really like the kind of the Wind Waker-esque Pacific Island geography of it. Mm-hmm. I really like traveling, and I really like exploring places. and this kind of had a sense of adventure and a swashbuckling excitement to it that really compelled me into this world. And I wouldn't mind just like watching this like a spin-off. It's just like exploring the mythos of this world.
You'd watch a Maui movie?
I would watch a Maui movie. You know, I would watch a movie about how the grandma did whatever she did before she's in this movie. I also found like the animation wasn't just like beautiful, but it told a story and it connected with me emotionally in scenes that really did a good job of expressing that live action wasn't the place to tell the story. And telling a lot of those things that touched me emotionally were also visual. So it wasn't necessarily in the acting either. Like the part where the grandma dies and then you just see her spirit like going through the trees and then like soaring underneath the water. Like I got goosebumps, and I don't know what it was. I didn't cry, but I felt my tear gland starting to fill up a little bit. Like,
oh, dude, I had that with a lot of shit in this movie. That is a very normal reaction to a lot of this stuff that happens in this. I teared up a bunch of times. Not quite as much as I did with Kubo, but enough. I'm with two people who hate Kubo, so...
I don't hate Kubo. I think Kubo's a really good movie.
You've told me you don't like it, though.
Whoa. I just don't think it's great.
You're wrong.
My favorite thing about Kubo is the cover of While My Guitar Gently Weeps at the end.
I mean, that is cool, too. Yes, certainly.
My issues with Kubo just center around it's structured like a Scott Snyder story, but...
Whatever. I don't know, man. I think that the emotion of this movie really, really works for me. You know, it's interesting because I watched Hamilton, did a review with Lo of that, and Miranda's the same guy, wrote Hamilton, wrote some of the songs in this, and he has a certain bag of tricks. Because we haven't really talked about the songs that much. He has a very, very particular bag of tricks he likes to go back to.
Yeah.
One of them being just recurring melodies, recurring songs.
Yeah.
So we get, No One Knows comes up like 2 or 3 times in the song. Where You Are comes up 2 or 3 times. And then We Know the Way comes up 2 or 3 times. It's really well done. And then you get that like really, really big, impactful moment before she goes back on her own to take on the monster. And you get all 3 of those songs formed together in a melody. That ends with the big power ballad of I Am Moana.
Oh, it's so cool.
It is. That is a really fucking cool moment. And I will put it up against every single Let It Go cover that you can imagine. That is just such a odd musically that really works. I don't know a ton about music, but I know enough to know that was damn good.
I also want to say the woman who voices Moana, I should say, not child or girl, but she's like 17 or like 16 or something.
Yeah, this is like her first thing ever.
I cannot believe that. That is insane to me. She has a power and a command to her voice acting that is spectacular. I do think maybe the audio mixing's a little weird. Like her voice is like she's obviously like speaking loudly into a microphone, and I think like maybe it's a mixing thing where sometimes where she like hits a higher register, it kind of like pierces my eardrum in a wrong way, or like, ooh, wow, that's a little loud.
Not for me.
But no, I think she's spectacular, and her voice is amazing too, and her chemistry, like her chemistry with Dwayne Johnson is really good. Now he's one of the most charismatic people in the business. I think I think has good chemistry with anyone he really acts with, but voice acting chemistry is a very unique animal in comparison to something like just being on set with somebody. I don't think these people were in the same rooms recording these lines together.
I don't believe so either, which is, it's interesting how that dynamic built off then. I'm trying to think of the example. Who is it? Oh, it's like Hayden Christensen's acting slowly getting better the more scenes he has with Ian McDermott and Revenge of the Sith. It is it's not exactly that, because she's pretty damn good on her own, but just being around better, like, a really good charismatic actor, like, makes her step her own game up even more.
Yeah.
And so you just, like, get something that gets better as it goes.
Yeah. On the songs, I think that the whole recurring melodies sort of thing, is that just like a musical theater kind of trick, or do you think that's specific to Miranda?
I mean, it's a general. It's like he's not the inventor of it, but it's a trick he likes, right?
Yeah. Okay, I get you.
He clearly could not have. He clearly wasn't the one who invented it, but it's something he likes to do.
Yeah,
because that's all over Hamilton.
And I think that's what I really liked in this movie, was that it wasn't just they sing a song and then the song's over and then they have a little bit of stuff. I really like the interconnectivity of it. And like
there are still one-off songs that there are still one-off songs that don't come back. Like Shiny technically comes back after the credits, but it's more just a one-off bit. So I think but that's a trick he really likes to use, because Not Gonna Blow My Shot in Hamilton is like there 16,000 times.
Yeah.
So that and even like the song doesn't come back, but You're Welcome as a recurring line comes back.
It does.
I'm a real fan of that as a narrative tool. Like I keep bringing up Kubo, but that was my favorite thing about Kubo, was the repetition of just those 2 or 3 lines used throughout the narrative. I dig the shit out of that as a device. Just God, I fucking love that. Like, just real quick thought on Kubo. So I had no interest in that movie when I first heard about it. I'm like, it's one of those things. Okay, whatever. And then I heard a radio ad for it, where it just started with that moment of the kid, and he's like, if you must blink, do it now. Pay close attention to every detail. If you divert your attention away for even an instant, then our hero will surely perish. I'm like, holy shit! Yes! And then that line keeps working its way back in the movie. And that's just awesome. And this has some stuff like that too, which I don't know, I think it really works. We know the way, How Far I'll Go. As songs, those come back, but You're Welcome comes back as a line. The Ocean Chose Me for a Reason comes back as a line. And it just works. It's a good way to hit you emotionally.
And I do think, like, emotionally speaking, it is where I think it really impacts me the most. And, I mean, generally speaking, movies are usually trying to do one of two things: make you think or make you feel. Even if that's just making you feel like, oh, that's cool. But and so I generally prefer to feel as opposed to think. That's just kind of what plays to me more. But watching this movie, I didn't really pick up on any like profound themes or anything. I didn't find it as like didn't have as much on its mind as something like Zootopia did. But
it's a much better film than Zootopia, though.
I might need to watch both of them again, back to back. I think I like Zootopia a little bit more.
Zootopia breaks down the more you think about it.
Yeah.
It really falls apart when you try to give any like, okay, what is this movie trying to say about real life? And once you start to do that, it really falls apart. But like this, it's got a really, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but it's got a really basic general theme of exploration about, doing what, you feel you need to do with your life, that kind of stuff. Those very, general hero's journey kind of things.
And it's got a neat little idea of heritage in there that I really like.
Yeah, but it's definitely not like, it's definitely not trying to make any huge statements. It's just trying to be a film about like a character's journey. Before
Yeah,
it's
and I think
anything
in that
else.
regard, it does it very, very well.
Mm-hmm. And that's the part that impressed the shit out of me. I was so ready to think that this was going to be another awful Disney film, kind of like Frozen, and it's really not. And I was just very giddy for that.
One little detail that at the end kind of dawned on me is, so nobody thought to just walk behind a waterfall.
I
Like,
mean, maybe.
all those boats and stuff are just like right behind the waterfall. They're not really like buried in with like, they're not like put back there. They're like right there. And so then when they're like, look, there's a bunch of ships for us to go out and explore. Everyone's like, whoa, I had no idea those were there. I'm like, nobody thought to look behind a waterfall? Okay. I thought that was
I don't know. Why
strange.
would you go behind a waterfall?
Because going
Look for a
underneath the water,
dragon?
like, okay, it's super, like, isn't that like a super romantic thing where you're like making out with your honey, like, under a waterfall and you go behind it and maybe get lucky? Oh my god, there's a boat! Like,
In the
you don't think
movies,
that
it
happens?
might be, but what do these people not have? Movies.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I think it's just like a universal thing, right? Making out underneath a waterfall just turns people on. Isn't that just like a universal trait of humanity?
What kind
That's
of
like
porn
saying
did you
that
watch?
walking away from explosions without looking is a universal thing of humanity.
Walking away while your dominoes fall over in Collateral Beauty.
Joke I didn't get.
Oh, Liam, you have to watch Collateral Beauty. It is one of like, if you're into philosophy, you will like have a hoot. It is one of the most philosophically inept films I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, good. That's a way to get me in.
Yeah,
It's like a
hilarious.
legendary movie of failure in every sense of the word.
Okay. Anyway, no, I guess, Connor, it's just one of those things. Just give it a gimme. That's such a
Yeah.
little gimme.
I know. I know that's a little like it's the equivalent to a nitpick. They're hidden behind the waterfall, but whatever, it's fine.
I mean, certainly it's not a perfect movie. It does have, some contrivances and conveniences, like Maui showing back up at the end, or just the grandma dies at a really, really opportune time.
Yes, she does.
So you got stuff like that, which, yeah, whatever. I just thought of something. This
What's
could have
that?
been interesting. You could have made the reason Maui came back really work, but it would involve going back to the island once or twice.
Yeah.
You could have gone to the father and the villagers deciding to take the boats out of the waterfall cave to go search for Moana. And then after her and Maui split up, Maui could have come across them having a really hard time traveling the ocean and realized that if he wants mortals to love him again, he needs to save them, and the only person that's going to be able to guide them is Moana, so he goes back for her. That would have been more consistent. But you would have needed a setup scene for that, and then, again, a payoff scene, so that's at least 5-10 minutes.
Right.
But there's a little script doctoring for you.
Right. This
and again, I don't feel it's necessary at all. I believe that Maui would come back, regardless of what he says, because of the relationship he built up with Moana. But I will agree, it's a little weird that we get no explanation for why he comes back.
Because we get an explanation for why he leaves. He has to express why he left. And then when he just you're right, it is believable that he does come back, but I think that's for the sake of storytelling something you do need to show. Like, they don't even really talk about it when he does come back. He's just like, I'm back! And they're like, sweet! Big action scene.
Yep. I don't know, I was impressed with the subversion of the action scene. Like, when he first goes to fight the thing, I was really expecting that to be the end of the movie, and then it's definitely not. And we get an even better climax to the movie. That really worked for me.
Right. Touching on the songs really fast. I really like the songs in this, but part of me was a little disappointed we didn't get more. I've never seen Frozen or like pretty much any Disney movie. Disney is something that I have very little experience with. Growing up, I didn't watch Disney animated movies. I just watched Star Wars and Godzilla and James Bond.
You should do a Disney Sember.
I should. Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah, that'd be fun. But so I don't know how many songs are usually in a Disney movie. I don't know how musical-esque they are. But I did want more songs, and I think that's a testament to how good the tunes are in this. Maybe structurally speaking, it would kind of fall apart because of what Miranda's trying to do with like songs that are coming back, recurring. But oh well, I just really like the songs, and I would like to see more songs. It's the same problem I had like with La La Land. Was I really like the songs in that movie, and it was like a good like 40, not 40-minute stretch, but like a good like 20-minute stretch where there are no songs being sung, and it's a little disappointing because I do like the songs in that movie as well. If a song can make me tap my foot and I can hum it a couple days later and it's a good little earworm, then I like songs. I just like I'm an easy lay for catchy music.
Whatever works for Connor. Whatever works.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there'd need to be any more. I think that there's probably enough as is, and you could probably even get rid of one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, as much fun as Tamatoa is, and shit, and as terrifying as his real life counterparts are, I don't know if we really need Shiny in there. Like, I feel like
right.
that scene can pretty much just be an action scene. You don't need a song. But he's also really hilarious.
That's Jermaine Clements, right, of Flight of the Conchords. Right?
I have no idea who sung that.
I think you're right, Connor. I'm pretty sure that's who that is.
Yeah, Jermaine Clements. He was Boris the Animal from the amazingly the well-revered movie Men in Black 3. He's one of the two guys. He and Brett something. They're the guys behind Flight of the Conchords. But I really like him. I like Flight of the Conchords. I think it's a really funny musical duo. You should look some of their stuff up, Ian. They're pretty clever.
I've seen them. I've seen them.
But I really liked Shiny. I met a couple people who just thought it was kind of annoying and pointless. But does it need to be there? No. But I really liked it while I was watching it, and I thought it did a really good job of shifting tones from being fun and kind of silly and amusing to being a little ominous and foreboding. But I thought the whole tonal balance there was really good, and it made me want to see more stuff like that because I thought they handled it so well.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a good problem when your biggest issue with the movie is you want more of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's a good song, it's a catchy tune and all. I just don't know if you really need it, but at the same time, I'm fine with it being there. It may have been it's like the only one that doesn't come back at all. Because again, You're Welcome comes back in dialogue. Everything else comes back in song. Where You Are, all that stuff comes back. Shiny is the odd one out. And it's not a problem, it's just an inconsistency. And I mean, technically it does come back, but...
yeah.
I don't know.
But then the movie's already over by that point, so...
Yeah, like... It's so funny as we discuss whether or not end credit scenes deserve to be considered part of the movie, because I don't think they are. I think those are fan service or just like a fun little gag, but people act like they're important parts of the film.
Yeah.
I find that to be a weird argument, because if you consider that an important part of the film, then what the fuck with that, like, 10 minutes of just people's names that added nothing to the story?
Yeah.
It was boringly shot. You were just sitting there watching it scroll the whole time.
Yeah.
Yes.
One more thing though. I think this movie might have like overstepped its boundaries in how self-aware it was at times.
It does break the fourth wall maybe one too many times and then doesn't really change much about that, but at the same time, it's a funny joke.
Yeah, the whole stuff with like, oh, would you care if my name was Sebastian? Like, as a joke, that's relying on you being familiar with The Little Mermaid. So, and I don't know. I know a lot of people know what The Little Mermaid is and know who Sebastian the crab is, or lobster or whatever he is, but I don't know. I don't think The Little Mermaid is like, it's not the Beauty and the Beast, right? It's not Aladdin. Like, it's not like something somebody
Little
will name.
Mermaid was what started the Disney Renaissance.
I know it's what started the Disney Renaissance, but if you just like ask people on the street like to name 3 Disney movies off the top of their head, I don't think like The Little Mermaid would be the one. It would be, at least a lot.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it'd be up there.
I think that would go to that.
Okay. Maybe it's like, then again, I'm not a Disney guy.
You're just an idiot, Connor. Shut up!
You fucking beta male cuck. You don't even think of The Little Mermaid. God damn.
God, dude, go order a beta male cuck meal, dude.
So
when you talk about like breaking the fourth wall and stuff, I think more of like, you know, the line, "Oh, if you're gonna start singing, I'm gonna throw up," or you're wearing a dress and you have animal sidekicks. You're a princess. That's what I think of more when you say breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah. I think that when they say, "Oh, don't break into song or else I'm gonna gag," or like I'm gonna throw up, that's the one where I was like, "Come on, embrace what you are. You're a musical and you're a darn good one at that. Why do you have to like?" I feel like that was the movie kind of apologizing for what it was. And I didn't
maybe
think
a little bit.
do that. But even like the stuff with like the princess, like you're a princess, you like wear a dress and have an animal sidekick. Like that one worked for me because the Disney princess archetype is something so ingrained into pop culture and like in the zeitgeist that it works. And I don't like you don't even need to be familiar with Disney to know what a Disney princess is.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm pretty sure Moana could kick every Disney princess's ass.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's really fucking cool. I really like her.
Cool.
Just again, the way that movie fucking ends with her hanging on the rope with the headdress on and everything, just looks so fucking cool.
It does.
I don't know, man. I really like this movie. It's certainly not perfect, but it's damn good.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the best Disney movie in at least 8 years.
Yeah. What's the last one?
If not 10. Because everyone else loves Frozen. I think it's kind of awful.
Does your mind go to Lilo and Stitch?
Lilo and Stitch is my favorite Disney movie.
Okay.
So I made this joke earlier, but I'll make it again for your benefit, Connor.
Oh, thank you.
Something about Disney and Pacific Islanders just fucking works. I don't know why, but that's their go-to. That's what they should just be doing, because they haven't made a bad one yet.
The Pacific Islands are such a neat aesthetic that I don't think we explore nearly enough.
I don't know, man. Something about it just... Disney knows what they're doing when they do those movies.
They have like
it's like suddenly they get all their shit together.
They have a drawer full of Pacific Island ideas. They're like, okay, we can't blow it all at once. Let's do one every 10 to 15 years.
I guess. Because Lilo and Stitch, like, I watched the whole fucking Lilo and Stitch series, and it's like, it's got bad episodes, sure, but it's a pretty good show.
Mm-hmm. I was all about that show when I was younger.
Yeah. All right. I'm running out of a ton to say. I feel like we're mainly repeating ourselves. Connor, you should have been here from the beginning, you bastard.
Work.
You fucking beta male.
That is a beta male thing to do,
Alright, so Connor, why don't you start us off? What's your rating of Moana?
I'm gonna give Moana a 4 out of 5 shiny turtles.
Shiny turtles?
Oh, yeah, he's a giant turtle, right?
He's a crab.
Oh my god, I'm retarded. I'm sorry. I was thinking
Beta
of,
male move, Connor. Beta male
I'm sorry.
move, dude.
I was thinking of the surfer turtle from Finding Nemo for a second. My bad. Yeah, I'd give it 4 out of 5 shiny crabs. There we go. How's that better?
Okay, how about you, Rasco?
I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 wild pigs. That's bad.
Nice. Again, this isn't a perfect movie. It does have its problems, but I think they are so completely overshadowed by how good it is. I'm going to go ahead and give Moana 5 out of 5 hearts of stone, little gem thingy. Yeah.
That's a beta male thing to pick for your rating, dude.
No, Connor's the beta male. You got to make fun of me for something else.
That's a terrorist thing to pick, Ian.
Oh. Okay, Rasco, you've had a whole episode to decide. What are we going to be talking about next week?
Okay, we kind of touched on it this episode,
week.
but it made me want to talk about it even more. We're going to talk about video games and how they are or are not the evolution of movies.
Okay, interesting. Well, shit. That'll be hell of a topic. Okay, cool. Everyone, thank you very much for listening. Until next time, I'm the Philosopher.
I'm the beta male cuck.
Did you guys not get mine?
No.
Oh. I'm the Santa.
And we are your geeky gentlemen, and we will be discussing things.